Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome to Endless Legend Tempest. Can you hear the smile on my face? I am so excited to be able to bring this to you guys. Amplitude just hooked me up. I mean, just hooked me up 3 minutes ago. So I have not played yet, but we're going to get in here. We're going to learn some things. I'm going to change these player colors so that they're a little less ambiguous. We're going to be playing on Impossible because I don't want to play the new race on Endless for my first time out. This is what we're talking about right here, Morgaur. Now, if you're not familiar with Endless Legend Tempest, the big change is that it expands the naval gameplay significantly. In the base game of Endless Legend, everybody can load their units into transport ships by researching the shipyard technology, and then you can cross water, and that's it. That's all water is. And sometimes there's islands and stuff, you can go to the islands, but you can't, there's no naval warfare, there's no naval creatures, there's nothing out in the sea to play with. They have completely revamped all of the naval gameplay. There's all kinds of sea monsters and sea forts and stuff. I've read some of the design documents, but I have not gotten to touch any of it yet. Because like I said, literally they gave me the code 4 minutes ago. So I'm really excited to get in here. Now the Morgaur do not yet have an intro cinematic, and I do want to specify before we get into things, this is a beta version of the game. Gameplay mechanics and gameplay visuals may not be in their final form yet. But let's get out here. So, strange and stranger, this fortress complex in the open sea must be a work of the ancient occupants of the planet. Yet they are no longer present. I can read. The fortress is manned by a strange species of creature. Will you talk or attack? The fortress is composed of a citadel surrounded by one or several facilities. The content of the facilities will be revealed depending on the most advanced empire's era. Okay. So the global science level lets us know more about these citadels. Like I said, I've read the design documents a little bit, but if you haven't, that is no reason to worry. I will be approaching everything as though it is completely fresh. We're going to learn all this together. If you are new to Endless Legend, this is the perfect way for you to learn about Tempest. So first of all, let's talk about our new race, the Morgaur. First of all, we're crazy looking. Secondly, let's talk about what makes us us. Actually, there's a little text here. Constructed creatures that broke out of their prisons deep beneath the oceans. The Morgaur are driven to seek the surface by forces they do not understand. Once the planet is theirs, however, their ambition may not be sated. Alright, so we are Neptunian. It is free for our units to embark and disembark. Most units have to pay a cost of all of their remaining unit movement to embark in a ship. If you move from a tile that is on land to a tile in water, all of your move is gone. That's not true with these guys. Plus, our transport ships are improved, and this apparently is unlocked by the shipyard technology. When we research shipyard, we're going to get access to this stuff. We have the Cat's Paw. These guys are masters of mind control, and you can just take control of roaming minor faction armies and fleets, because now there are fleets, because there are boats, like actual boat units. I'm so excited. We are hydrophilic. We love water. +2 industry and science on sea and lake terrain, +1 industry and science on rivers. So rivers are kind of important in the base game. For these guys, they're going to be absolutely vital, it looks like. We are sea traders. We get a 100% bonus from ocean control on sea trade. And the Era 2 technology, Imperial Highways, cannot be researched. We don't get normal land trade routes. And the Era 3 technology, Cargo Docks, has been moved to Era 2. So the Cargo Docks lets you build a district in the water. That is pretty great. It looks like we can get access to that a little earlier, which is nice. It also is the way that you enable sea trade. So obviously, sea trade completely replaces land trade for these guys. The Seeds of Dissent. We can just target a pacified village and make it hostile again. We can turn people's minor factions against them. The minor factions are not actually much of a threat militarily after the early part of the game, but this will make it so that we could potentially make people lose their assimilation altogether, and we can certainly screw with the amount of reward they're getting from having assimilated someone. And we have the Black Spot. This is so cool. The Black Spot allows us, we can just go to the diplomatic screen for any empire and declare to them, you have the Black Spot, and that lets anyone in the game attack them. Even players that are their allies can attack them. It's a little bit like the market ban ability that the roving clans have, in that you can decide to end it by paying an influence cost, and the influence cost lowers over time. So if you have been black spotted, you can eventually shed it, but it might be too expensive for you to do it quickly, and during that time horrible things might happen to you. Breaching Wave. an Arrow 1 technology that gives us +2 influence from citadels and +1 influence from revealed facilities. So this is going to interact with the new buildings that are in the ocean, which we'll see presently. We have some new units. We'll talk about the new units when we get to use them. We have a main quest, of course. We get to start with aquapulvistics and the shipyard, so we get our transport ships and stuff right away. So there's all kinds of new, there's 4 new naval units that every empire has access to, different kinds of ships. And we got to start with aquapulvistics, so we get plus dust on rivers, as well as plus science and plus industry. I'm very excited. We have started in a terrible location. Oh my god. Look at how good water tiles are for us. Holy crap. Oh, I'm very excited. Okay, so we probably want to move... I don't know that we want to move inland, because we really want to be able to take advantage of these water tiles. But, let's send our masterminds out. Let's have a quick look at what our masterminds actually do. Do our settlers have any weird abilities? They're amphibious. Amphibious, I'm sure, just means... Oh, actually, it doesn't mean the thing I thought it meant at all. So they have minus normal movement, but the movement cost of a river tile is 0.25 instead of 1. So we'll be able to move very, very quickly along the river. We have True Sight, +2 vision range, ignores line of sight, and can see invisible units. Oh, so it's almost like radar. Our units have crazy radar vision. Bloodlust is a spell we can cast on friendly units. Oh, so our starting unit is a support. That's interesting. Plus 30% damage and initiative, minus 15% life, and +2 battle movement. So yeah, you just make them berserk. And slow down. When we hit enemies in battle, it'll reduce their battle movement for 2 turns. Okay. So these guys are not going to be military powerhouses right away. We're going to have to pick up some new units. And actually, our first area unit is a boat. And our second area unit is a boat. Ooh. That's... We're really not good at war on land. Actually, let's research this. Let's search this room before we move anywhere. Or not? Hey, you. Also, I guess we should look at our hero real quick. He has the Hecatomb ability. When dying, targeted friendly unit... this is a spell you cast on a friendly unit. And when that unit dies, it blows up, dealing 30% of its... I assume when it says a unit's life, I assume it means max health, not current. Because that would be a very low value. And he has Fast Learner, Influence Boost 2, and Spying 3. So these guys are pretty good spies. That's good. We needed more races that were good at spying. So can we, yeah, search this ruin. Let's see what we get. 30 dust. Very exciting. Yes, playing new content. The first time you load up the game with a new thing, it shows you that screen. And also, we have a Draken player in our game. May our conversations be civil and frequent. Well, I might be able to pull off frequent. I don't think these guys really seem like very civil people. Oh, right, I only have 3 move. I was planning my move as though I had 4, because almost everybody has 4. Okay, so this region looks not very good for us. Obviously, we'd like to found on the shore because the water tiles are fantastic. We have a pretty good anomaly here. We could build down here by this anomaly, this source of industry, but unfortunately, all of the tiles around it are real garbage. Look at this, 1 dust. Oh, I like this. Look at the tooltip in the lower left now shows you the move cost for a tile when you mouse over it. That's really nice. I think we're gonna found by this thing. So I think we're gonna hit this space. That only gives us 1 water tile to start with. If we found here, we'll be on 9 food, 8 industry, 4 science, 10 dust. And if we found over here to take advantage of a bunch of water, 4 food, 14 industry. Wow. I think I like this location better. It's certainly going to be better for expansion because we're going to have fewer of these 1 resource tiles screwing everything up. And it is worth noting that this location gives us 10 approval because this anomaly, you can see when I mouse over here, in the panel over there, gives plus 10 approval. Plus 10 approval is really valuable at the beginning of the game because it moves your city's base happiness level from content to happy, which means that you're going to be on plus 15% all resources. It's very valuable. So the settlers are amphibious. They have the shortened movement range, but the fast movement along rivers, and they have. You noticed we got to move 3 spaces, but it pathed us through the water because it wants us to move through water because water tiles are a little bit better for us. So I think we're gonna pick up Founders Memorial first. It's pretty hard not to go Founders Memorial first. The Coastal Battery. So we get coastal retaliation damage. Half a point of coastal retaliation damage per fortification in the city. Plus 40 XP when recruiting a unit on naval units. Okay, so the Coastal Battery is pretty great for our boats. It functions in a lot of the same way as the defensive buildings that were introduced in Shifters. But unfortunately, it requires adamantium. And we sure as hell do not have any adamantium right now. Yeah, let's build our Founders Memorial, get all of our resources going. We'll focus on industry, try to get that out as quickly as possible. So we have access to this right now, but I don't want to take it because I don't 100% know what it really means. And you can see the sea units that are available to every empire are now added to the tech tree up in this position. So what do we have? What's our first thing? A boarding vessel. This unit is designed to carry troops that attack enemy ships. It has the boarding party ability, which lets your land units engage in sea melee combat, I believe. And then also we get this thing. We get a Vor, a solid fighter, but its great strength lies in its toughness and ability to automatically lift its armor and improve defenses when attacked. Boy, that's exciting. I think we're gonna go with a pretty standard opening, straight to Mill Foundry. I think we're 11 minutes into the video. Why don't we move to turn 2? This seems like an okay time to move to turn 2. All right, I'm very excited. What's our faction quest all about here? Morgar awakens. Darkness. Moves heads, limbs. Presses out. Grabs. Crushes. Twists. Breaks weakened bars. Shatters cracked glass. Morgar moves. Freedom. After uncountable years. Flees the structures, the caves, into the water. Dark water. Too cold. Too dark. Hides too many enemies and too many memories. So these guys have a real, like, a collective... The race speaks about itself as a single unit, or there is a being that is the Morgar and everything else is just sort of its mental slave or something? The fiction is unclear to me yet. I'm sure things will become clearer as we go. So the Morgar have awakened and destroyed the places that held them prisoner. To continue their war for freedom, they need stronger cities and better armies. Exploit at least one sea tile with one of your cities, which we're doing, and research the Vor unit technology. Okay, so we'll pick that up next, I guess. We'll go from Mill Foundry straight into Vor, because I want to push along this faction quest and learn about the rewards so that we can make better decisions in the future. And we're going to, unfortunately, be pushing... we're going to be pushing the language square off, which means we won't be able to talk to the minor factions as early as I often like to. Yeah, we get much better movement by... Let's just go ahead and scout from the water, why not? Take advantage of this ability here. Yeah, we really get quite a lot of movement in the water. Oh, there's lightning. Okay, so let's talk about this. I'm going to turn off the resource overlay so we can see this a little more clearly. There's weather now in the seas. So when you zoom out to here, it gives you a pretty clear indication. The weather moves slowly over the map like real weather. You know, the clouds are being pushed around by the wind. So minus 45% life at the end of the turn. And in battle, minus 15% life at the beginning of the round. You do not want to park your ship in a spot that has a storm. That's fairly intuitive, I think. These guys are so cool looking. The art assets, like I said, may not be final, but they look really good right now, I think. Okay, so we did have a river, but it's really far away from the coast. I think our decision to settle on the coast was pretty sensible. And we found nothing in our ruins yet. What about this one? Ooh, sea ruins. Once part of a fortress, this cracked cylinder rests on the ocean floor. It is now a treasure or tomb for brave adventurers. So nobody else has the ability to... Oh, that's not true. I was about to say nobody else has the ability to hit the water right away, so we can scoop all those up for ourselves. But actually, if there's an Alayi player in our game, he might well be picking those things up. Wow, there's a lot of storm going on. Man, even the storm effects look so cool. So what do we have here? It looks like we have a rainy tile as well. Rain. Increases army upkeep costs and in battle lowers morale. Alright, if you're not familiar with what morale actually does, each point of morale changes your unit's attack and defense by 15%. Minus 1 morale is minus 15% attack and defense. Plus 1 is plus 15%. And that effect can stack up to 6 times. You can have up to +6 or -6 morale. So it's important to manage. Oh, look at the movement along the rivers. It's so beautiful. It even speeds up movement through the forests. Yeah, let's go this way. Ooh, I like this region a lot. I think we want to settle here next. Look at all the river tiles. We are so fast when we have access to rivers. So the river tile thing is not just about resources for them. It's going to be tremendously easier for you to reinforce your cities in the early game if you're building along rivers, because your units will have incredible movement range. So it looks like the weather maybe gets more intense the further out you get from the cities. We're gonna go scouting proper out into the ocean in a minute here, but I want to try to pick up as many ruins as we can quickly, for obvious reasons. If you played Endless Legend before, you know it's a very, very beneficial. Hit all these goody huts while you can. We're having some real bad luck here, though. Alright, let's search a sea ruin. I'm interested in this. What are we going to find? Dive. When performed by a hero, this action provides a base value of 12 XP. This consumes your remaining movement points and can reveal kind of the same stuff. Okay, you have to actually move into its space. I assume it has kind of a similar loot table to land ruins. It's interesting that it ends your turn to do it. Also, it gives 12 XP to heroes who do it instead of 10 like a land ruin. So it's a little bit better for us XP-wise to go out to sea and find ruins. Alright, we can see a couple of ruins right on the shore here. Again, just having some real bad luck. It's unfortunate. So what do we have here? Red is Broken Lords. We have a Broken Lord player, not too far away. Broken Lords are not my least favorite neighbors. They're aggressive, but they're not tremendously dangerous. Their units are tough, but they have poor fortification value and very bad attack. So they're unlikely to be able to just suddenly flatten one of your cities. Alright, let's see if we can get something cool out of these ruins. Oh, we found something. The tribe that settled comfortably in these ruins is unhappy with their ugly new overlords. They don't like their noisy habits, blasphemous forms of worship, and the casual and disgusting way they dispose of their waste. Ew. They also find them repulsively ugly, but that's a more subjective issue. If you can resolve the problem by driving them out, the Irisis would be happy to see a more agreeable people like yours take their place. So capture a fortress in Morktra that is held by another empire, and they'll give us some wine if we do it. It has to be held by another empire, though. So I guess that's not something we're going to be able to fulfill right away. Okay, we're a little bit short on dust to just buy our mill foundry out right away. I do want to try to get a settler going pretty early, because I want to make sure that we get Cyan. This is a great region for us, and it would be a real shame if Red managed to snake it away from us. Yes, well, honorable acquaintances. I don't know, could happen. I suppose stranger things have occurred. So it's going to be really important for us to make sure that we found our cities in a way that we can work the... Oh. Yeah, we'll be retreating from this battle, obviously. Our mastermind... we didn't talk about stats. Our mastermind has 22 attack, 36 defense, 92 life, 34 damage. So to compare to the stalwarts, which are generally held to be pretty poor units, as far as attacking goes, they're very tough, but pretty poor units as far as damage output goes. We actually have less attack than they do, but our starting damage value is 34, which is a real value. Their starting damage value is 22, which is hot garbage. We would be totally overwhelmed by them, though, just because with 22 attack, we would never be able to get through this big sack of hit points in defense. So we'll be retreating. They're already getting on my nerves. We're going to flee here. And actually, we're not very good at running away from them. We're going to have to make use of the rivers if we want to outrun them, because they're faster than we are on the land. I really like the flavor of that, though, that we can just sort of hop into the river and swim away. So we have windy tiles, or no, this is the icon for rain. So we have a big rainy cloud system. This hand-drawn storm system thing is super cool. Okay, this is a citadel. This is the citadel that the quest indicated. Let's go have a look at it. Alright, we're just going to float through here. It looks like the weather doesn't have much of an effect on you as long as you don't end your turn in it. Alright, this guy is going to keep heading along this way. Let's see who purple is. let's get some intel on the neighbors. Alright, we didn't find anything, but we did get a level. I haven't looked at the faction tree for the hero yet, so let's see what they get. Plus 50 defense and 100 life when embarked. So this makes you tougher while embarked. At max level, it... Oh no, okay. It's defense and life at level 1, attack and life at level 2, and initiative damage and life at level 3. So if you take all 3 levels of this, you're actually pretty scary in sea combat. Plus 15 approval per city with oceanic exploitation. Oh, that's really interesting. So, this could potentially be a ton of approval in a city. This is really, really valuable. I like heroes that have early approval, especially there are certain factions that either want to expand very quickly or, like the Alayi, just have approval problems, and these guys might be really valuable. To a certain extent, it kind of seems like you're mind-controlling your citizens a little bit, but whatever gets you through the day. Ingenious Admiral. So this buffs up the stats of your transport ships, including their movement. So this will make your transport ships better when this guy is in them. Help your armies move around the sea. Units with detection can see invisible units. The detection range is equal to their vision range. Ignores line of sight. And, yeah, there's a little... a variable name in there, unfortunately. Like I said, not the final version of the game. So this is interesting because it gives the army that this guy is attached to sort of that radar vision that ignores line of sight and lets you see invisible units. This reduces the cost of naval units in the city by quite a lot. With both levels, it's 45%. And Lord of the Sea, no negative effects from weather. Oh, alright. So that'll let you safely stay in. Oh, I didn't actually spend this point though. We're gonna walk up his faction tree. We're gonna get some of this naval combat stuff. I'm really excited to get into some naval combat. All right. Oh, we just had a fraction of a movement point left over. So this is like a minor faction village. The fortress is hostile and can represent a threat. So we're not in any position to come over here with our mastermind and make trouble. Right? What are our embarked stats? 12 attack, 24 damage. Yeah. We're like a horrible garbage unit while embarked. That's alright. We're gonna have these vores in a couple of turns. We'll solve the problem that way. So let's head back to land. I don't know yet. We've seen 2 sea ruins that have been very close to shore. It may be that there could be sea ruins like way out in the middle of nowhere. So let's go have a look. I was really hoping to reveal this player. But we haven't seen any... Oh, I forgot to mash the button. Yep. We're in a lot of trouble here. Let's move fast. We need to make sure that we are hammering on the move along the water button. This carry out your planned movements button so that our guy actually gets away from these stalwarts. Once we hit the body of water, they won't be able to chase us. They don't have sea tech yet. I'm sure of that. But it used to be in the base game that if you had shipyard tech, you could dive into the body of water while being chased, and the enemy would just have to give up because there was no combat between naval units. That's no longer ultimate safety anymore. Can we search the ruin from here? No, we have to get actually onto the land. Okay, well, let's get onto the land tile on this side. As you can see, our unit has no health left. If you're not aware of how retreating works, every time your unit retreats, it loses about half of its health. We had a little bit of health regen over the turn, which is why we didn't die on the second retreat. But we would die on a third retreat. So these are the unrevealed facilities. And the facilities are revealed by the global tech level going up, if I'm understanding the tooltips correctly. So we'll have our Vor in 3 turns. Sorry, we picked up a quest that'll give us improved Arrow 1 luxury extractors if we just build a couple of Arrow 1 luxury extractors. That's pretty cool. We don't have any luxuries. Oh no, we do. We have spices. Our opening region does not have any strategic resources in it though. That's something to be concerned about. Alright, I think we're going to push for a quick settler here. Because like I said, I want to make sure we get this region. The river tiles are going to be super valuable for us, and it's very important to me that red does not beat us to it. Oh. A titanium facility. And a gold facility. Okay, I would really like to get this one. This fortress over here. Okay, yeah, there are sea ruins, like, way out in the ocean. Man, this is going to add a whole new layer to the early part of the game. This really expansion, or this really exploration-focused part of the game at the beginning, which, by the way, is my favorite part of pretty much any 4X. There's so much more stuff to explore, and with a lot of races, you're not going to have access to this stuff right away. And if there's not a Morgar player in your game, you may end up with sort of a second exploration phase as people start to hit ship tech. Ooh, a treasure map. You come across references to an ancient person who gathered something and hid it for a reason. But whether it was wisdom or in order to rebuild society, or wealth to enrich their friends, depends on the interpretation of the muddy letters in this badly worn document. Regardless of the purpose, it appears that something of value to someone can be found by searching the ruins marked on the map. So there's a treasure in some sunken ruins over here in Morkdra. These sea regions can be very, very large now. I remember reading that in documents. Alright, let's do a dive over here. Are we in this rain? No, the rain's in that hex. Okay. Yeah, let's dive on this. Okay, so they can yield dust, just like normal ruins. And we moved our faction quest along, I think? No, we're 2 spaces out. Or 2 turns out yet. Alright, so it looks like the weather systems actually get pretty large. Here we have a fog tile. While you are in fog, units that are outside the fog cannot see into the fog, but units that are in the fog can see out of it. And in battle, a fog tile gives plus 50 defense, or plus 50% defense against ranged attacks. So I think we're gonna make a beeline for that treasure ruin over here. Oh, what is this? Have we encountered some eyeless ones? Okay, so the different minor factions own different the different fortresses. And there's a titanium facility out here. So we actually, the fact that we don't have a strategic resource in our home region may end up not mattering that much, because we can potentially take over these sea tiles, these sea facilities, and get resources from them. The seaweed increases movement cost to 2 and minus 30% defense in battle. Very interesting. Alright, so I hope you guys don't mind. I'm kind of feeling it out along with you. I don't really know what to expect. Like I said, I read the design documents that Amplitude has been publishing, so I have some idea of sort of the intent of some of the changes, but I don't really have any insights that you guys don't have yet. I'll probably post another video later today after I've made some, after I've done some play, and I can explain things a little more clearly, but I thought everybody would like to see just kind of a first look. So, we got our 15 glass steel, we've moved on to the next step. Morgar is not in chains, but is not free. Free means unchallenged. Free means unthreatened. So we must find peace our own way, by dominating others, not by trusting them. The first step is to increase our armies and give the Morgar a good capability to attack, and then fortresses must be taken. So create 2 Vors, we are definitely going to do that already, and we'll unlock this building, the main Maritime Academy, which costs 5 of each First Era Strategic, and gives us a lot of extra XP on our naval units when we build them. Okay, create at least 2 Vors. We are probably going to be creating some Vors pretty quickly. We do want to get a couple of our infrastructure buildings into place, though. I think we're looking at 52 cost per research with only 8 science output. We need to get libraries. Alright, library and mint will be important. Actually, should we... Let's go to cultivation. Let's get food. Then Empire Mint for dust. So we're just gonna... these are sort of the big 4 buildings. The Mill Foundry, the library, the Empire Mint, and the seed storage from cultivation. Those are the buildings you should probably be building in every city as quickly as you can manage it. So it's eating up a little bit of our movement to get through all this seaweed. Still, we are very fast on the water. So unfortunately, I'm going to end up not knowing as much about our neighbors and our surrounding land regions as I would in most games, because we're not putting a lot of effort into exploring. We're way too focused on the sea. Alright, we have enough dust that as soon as the public library finishes, we'll be able to buy it out. Actually, would I rather rush this guy along? No, probably not. If I'm going to buy anything out, it should be a Vor. So what's it cost to buy a Vor from full? $329. So, I'm a little torn about whether I want to save dust to pick up the public library or whether I want to rush this Vor out. We don't have to make the decision just yet. And we have not bothered to pick up Language Square. We have no minor faction quests. I actually don't even know if it's possible to parlay with the minor factions that are holding the fortresses. So you can see the wind is blowing this weather one tile to the east every turn. Can I search this ruin, or do I? No, I need to actually move into it. Alright, so next turn for that. Well, if we get lucky, we get a couple more ruins and we get some decent dust, we might not have to choose. We might be able to rush out our Vor and our public library. Oh, we have an unfortunate land pass. It's going to make us probably have to spend an extra turn moving around here. It's nice that the weather behaves in a semi-predictable fashion, though. Oh wow, we just found advanced alloys. That's kind of cool. I don't actually think we're going to use advanced alloys, at least not the tier 1 version. Alchemical alloys is pretty valuable, but each one of these techs does give you minus 10% titanium and glass steel item costs. So even if you have one of these early techs that you don't want to use because you'd rather have the upgraded version, this is still giving you some benefit. Alright, our settler is finished. Let's haul out here and try to pick up this region as quickly as possible. It's unfortunate that our home region has so few rivers and we don't get to take advantage of that big movement boost. So we probably want to end up founding kind of a long, snaky-shaped country around the shoreline. I usually like to build my empires kind of tightly compacted so that it's a little bit easier to defend them. Try to keep any city from being too far away from any other city. But with these guys, it really seems like you're going to want to just roll along the coast. Getting to places to defend them quickly shouldn't really be a problem. Oh. Because of the... Damn it, they took our region. Because of the speed of the boats. But, so we have, with the passage of an era and the advancement of science, you can see somebody entered Era 2. Some ancient mechanism has decided it's time to open fortress facilities for your exploitation. What mysteries were the seas hiding? So the strategic boost facility... Oh, okay, so there's different facility types. And some of them start unlocked. That's why we could see the titanium and the gold in that one facility. Basic strategic and basic luxury stuff was already available. And now we have strategic boost facilities and science stockpile facilities. Regularly generates a science stockpile. That is very interesting. And this one gives plus 0.5 strategic resource on Empire per strategic resource facility. So that's a little unclear. Does that mean that on each of our things that is gathering a resource we get plus 0.5 per turn? The way it says on Empire there kind of it almost makes it look like this is actually generating the resources, but it must be that it's increasing the value of our extractors. So I'm very annoyed. So annoyed. Okay, let's look for a second settle. We do have a nice river here. Let's turn on yields real quick, just so that I can see. So we have a river that has an anomaly near the coast. We can kind of build a city that spans this area right here, have sea access, have all these river tiles, which are super valuable. Look at that, 6 points of resource per tile before we build our aquapulvistics facilities. These are really valuable. And we can take advantage of this anomaly and then build out to the sea. That's probably what we're going to end up doing. Unfortunately, this region doesn't have a river. It does have an anomaly that's close to the water. It has titanium. This region also has titanium. Neither one of them have any luxuries, at least not that we can see. I think Brenla's going to be the move, and then we'll expand this way. I'd love to pick up the wine. It's hard to know what Green's going to do, settling-wise. Especially since we haven't met them yet. I guess we'll move up this way. Red's borders are not closed to us, so we'll be able to like surf along the river to get to the part of Brenla that we want to use more quickly by going this way. So as soon as we have our Vors out, I want to start doing some sea conquering. So some of these fortresses really have a lot of facilities, and each facility gives one influence per turn in addition to its other effects, it looks like. Let's roll along this river. Now that we're not being actively chased, we can go and pick up this ruin. I was a little concerned that I was going to lose one of my starting units right away. Alright, let's get some treasure, man. It's unfortunate that... oh no, the reward was titanium. I thought it was glass steel. I was going to say it's unfortunate that it rewards glass steel when we have so much glass steel already. But actually, we've managed to pick up quite a lot of... quite a lot of our early strategics, and we could maybe make a play for one of the early strategic buildings. Although, actually, our Empire's kind of not doing that well right now. We're having some real problems. It would take 39 turns to build the megapole. We have no income. Man, we're in a little bit of a rough spot. Let's go ahead and buy out the Vor. We're going to have 2 Vors in 4 turns that way, and we'll be able to start conquering stuff on the sea. We'll start murderizing at these facilities. Let's figure out exactly how all this new gameplay works. So, did you notice our city has a tile that is designated as the spawn point for our naval units? It looks like we can change it to any tile that we're exploiting. Alright, let's turn off resource yields, because I know I've had some people tell me that they find the game a little overwhelming to watch with all the resource yields on. It just puts a ton of stuff on the screen. Let's roll over here and hit up this facility with an actual unit and see what's what. Oh man, when you're zoomed in, when you're not out at the strategic view, I like to play at the strategic view a lot. When you're not at the strategic view, the new sea stuff is really pretty. Alright, let's keep hitting up these sea ruins before anybody else can. Unfortunately, we haven't really met many of our neighbors yet, because I've been out to the water so much. We do know this is the Draken player over here. So this is kind of interesting, the implications of the Morgar existing on other factions. First of all, the first thing I can think of is that the Alayu player no longer gets all the islands for free. And that wasn't really the case before. If somebody wanted to push for ships, they could probably get to ship tech before you deemed it reasonable to settle the islands. But it was a choice they had to make, and it was a significant cost on their empire. Now the Alayu are being challenged for sea control right away, turn 1. And that's going to really affect the way they have to play. So this is 13 dust, 9 industry, 7 food. Very, very little science. I can't argue with that dust, though. We definitely need some help on our income. We're starting to have to pay a lot for army upkeep. We need to start merging our units. We're paying a little bit more than we necessarily need to be because I have all of our units split up into different armies. So we're paying the army tax a bunch of times. Let's work on getting the mill foundry up in this city. Dust Dredger to follow. So the Dust Dredger, in case you're not familiar with what Aquapulvistics does, it gives you access to this building, which gives +2 dust on river tiles, and access to another building, the Dust Filtration Center, which gives +3 dust on terrain with sea and lake. Both of these buildings only function during the summer, but it's a pretty significant upgrade, especially because for us, with the Dust Dredger active, each river tile has 8 points of resource on it, that's fabulous. That is a fantastic number. Alright, I'm actually going to be pretty annoyed if winter hits and we start getting a lot of sea tiles frozen over. Alright, so this will screw up our morale in battle. And it'll increase the cost of army upkeep right now. Okay, we actually don't even have enough move to get adjacent to the facility anyway. Alright, so we have one of these science stockpile facilities. That's really cool, actually. Regularly generating a science stockpile. That has some really interesting implications. The more you sail the waters, the more you realize you're gliding on a thin surface above deep and unfathomable mysteries. Are there lost kingdoms, unspeakable horrors, or both? Gnarled deckhands, skilled wrights, and sunburned pirates speak of an ancient object lying in a place shrouded in mystery and death that may teach you more about what lurks beneath you. It may be dangerous. What is life without a bit of risk? So there's a sunken ruin over here that's going to yield something for us. You know what? These guys will turn around and go hit that. Our hero can come down and search this one. Alright, so we have a pretty good view of this sort of South Sea area. We have received Bale Shark's Tooth, a glass steel shield that gives a bunch of initiative. Reasonable defensive stats. What creature had a rib so huge? A huge chill runs through you when you realize it's not a rib, it is a tooth. Okay, so it's a high initiative shield. I like that a lot. There are certain factions who could really use an initiative boost. So our new region has Civ-alike in it. I like Civ-alike a lot as an assimilation race. I suppose we'll go more inland. This guy's not good for much other than searching for ruins, on account of the fact that we did not learn how to speak to the minor factions yet. But hey, every bit of dust we get is a little bit more rush we can put on this mill foundry. Try to get this city functional in a hurry. Alright, so what do we have here? Coastal bombardment. If you pick up the artillery ability on a ship, I'm sure that's like a whole class of ships has the artillery ability. You can bombard cities from the coast. Encroaching on sovereign territory. Hey, you settled next to me, buddy. Also, that's my city. You're just renting it. We're gonna correct that guy in the very near future. All right. So what are the combat stats of this place like? We have 37 attack, 40 damage, 140 life. We're actually a pretty good unit, but I feel like we're probably not quite able to take down a minor faction village by ourselves with stats like that. Oh, we should actually look at this. Guy has some abilities that I don't know what they do, so let's have a look. First of all, dope art. Secondly, turtle, plus 50% defense after being attacked for the first time, lasts until the end of battle. Wow, that's really interesting, especially because this is not a low starting defense value. Rapid mutation can be retrofitted anywhere, even outside of our own territory. And acid spray deals 25% damage to the target and opponents next to both the target and the attacker for 3 rounds. So targets next to both the target and the attacker means if our target is here, then the units here and here in these hexes are vulnerable. Let's take a quick look at the ocean equipment. So, new iron jaws that make it better at fighting submersibles. Upgraded jaws, even better jaws. 12 attack and 6 damage here, 20 attack and 16 damage here, plus Submersible Slayer 2. But unfortunately, pretty expensive in terms of strategics. We'd also get improved acid spraying. So we currently have the acid spray ability. We could go to jaws, which would make us better at fighting submersibles. We get acid spray 2, which is even more damage, but it does lower our initiative. This is an officer slot. Oh, okay, so we can like equip a little mechanical guy. This sort of functions as the accessory slot. Fomorian Slayer 3. Plus 30 attack and damage against Fomorian units. I don't really know a lot about Fomorian units. That might be cool. And then we can get... we have a slot for a prow, which is a nice defensive armor slot. And a couple of different things that can go in this other slot that give us different capabilities. So just raw stats or some more initiative. Okay, so these guys retrofit kind of like normal troops. We're not actually going to change anything. I just kind of wanted to see what our capabilities were. I think we are going to wait for the second Vor to get over here before we fight, and that being the case, let's not have them sitting in the rain, because that is going to make them more expensive. Alright, you have a thing that you need to do. Let's hope that one of the spaces over here isn't rainy. Okay. And you guys... What are we looking at here as far as ocean coverage? It looks like there's probably a large body of water up here. This is probably the break in the continent. So we actually want to head north. I maybe should leave this actually for these units then and turn the hero around and go north. Also, our vision radius on the sea is really, really pretty wonderful. Alright, so we founded a city before turn 20, which is a little bit awkward in that it means we're going to not be able to afford quite as much empire plan as we might like. Alright, we've got 2 Vors, which first of all puts me feeling a little bit more confident about our ability to conquer, and secondly, let's get them to get that faction quest going. So we've got the main Maritime Academy tech available now. We can build the school building. Capture the localized fortress in Morktra or Chadun. Validate a turn with at least 1 Vor in that garrison. So they have feelings about which thing we should be raiding. I guess we'll go for that one first. I don't know how much damage we're going to take when we do this, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad. Alright, our city needs some serious infrastructure. Unfortunately, these Vors have quite a significant upkeep cost. What are we paying for this guy? Yeah, 6 per turn. So we might need to... Let's spend a turn with our guys on Dust. Let's just mitigate this for a moment. I'd really like to build the Coastal Battery. Plus 80 XP when recruiting a unit. What are we talking about? 80 XP... 40 XP gets them to level 1. Or gets them to level 2. Gets them out of level 1. So that's actually quite significant. That's a fair amount of extra stats, starting at that much XP. But I think we're gonna... We could start building a burrow to claim extra sea tiles. Yeah, look at the extra output we get there. Let's put a turn of industry into this. We're going to switch to the library as soon as it's finished researching. We're having kind of a slow start here because I'm mostly just too excited to play around with the new stuff. Not running my empire in maybe the most optimal way. Alright, what do we get? Nothing. We got nothing. These can be empty, just like anything else. Ooh. An enemy boarding vessel. So we can cat's paw these guys to mind control them. But we'll have to pay their normal unit upkeep plus a little bit, and this costs influence right off the top. We don't really want to spare any influence. In fact... Our empire plan this coming turn, I think I'd like to do this. Yeah, we got to get moving. And that means we need to have 40 influence. So, let's move a couple of citizens over to influence. We'll actually go ahead and eat the unfortunate dust costs to make sure that we pass 40 influence so that we can at least buy 1 rank of an empire plan. Did not find anything. I think we're going to poke our heads into Red's territory and grab these real quick. We got some Hernas over here. Real quick, what do we have in our other territories? Our nearby territories have Kazanji. Delvers are nice to assimilate. They give dust, extra dust every turn, and they have a faction quest that awards a pretty wonderful accessory. We could go get Sisters of Mercy. I noticed that we have a lot of regions that only have 1 village in them, which is really unfortunate. You always got to be thinking about your next expansion. Okay, we can just barely afford this. We're going for a public library, and we're going to put a rush on that. We desperately need income. Actually, I don't even know that I can afford to rush by this, because I don't want to deplete my treasury that much. It's okay, it's just 2 turns. Alright, so we need to be careful not to end our turn in the weather systems. I like the fact that the weather systems have a large enough effect, especially on my early economy, like increasing upkeep costs would be really bad. They have a large enough effect that I have to really think about them when moving. Ugh, all this seaweed. Okay, here's pink. We should definitely keep meeting our neighbors. I need to know who I'm up against. So, it looks like, I guess theoretically they could have up to 6 facilities. I don't think we've seen more than 4, right? It seems like a lot of them have 4. Maybe they all... No, they don't all have 4. This one has 3. Alright, you can go in... Oh, there's a river right there. I didn't even notice it through the forest. Picked up a quest. Build a public library and we get Mercenary Market for free. That's actually pretty great because Mercenary Market is a thing we definitely want. And public library is a thing we definitely would have been building anyway. Let's head back for this ruin now, I guess. This guy really has very little value to me except as a ruin scout. With our core unit being so poor in combat, it really does seem like this is a faction... Our poor unit being so poor in combat and us not having a military land unit to follow it, it really seems like these guys want to assimilate a minor faction quickly and use that as the core of any land army you might have. And as much as we love the sea, we are definitely going to have a land army. So the other players are not going to not attack us just because we're bad at defending ourselves. So I like that. It feels a little bit like the cultists in that way. Except, obviously, as a cultist player, if you don't really like any of your nearby minor factions, you can just roll on up to Nameless Guard very quickly, because Nameless Guard is awesome. Turbulence. Okay, so are there different kinds of weather for winter? Do we see... No, it looks like we still have lightning, but the season change caused it to generate a new set of weather systems. So we have Turbulence now. Reduces movement cost, but gives minus 30% attack. Okay, so you can really tear through Turbulence tiles. And of course we got the basic winter. -1 vision, -1 food, -1 dust on terrain. And cuts our movement by a quarter, which is crummy. Alright, right, without the dust from our our tiles, we're actually at a significant deficit. Maybe we do need to... Let's reverse the order of these researches real quick. We need the Empire bit, like really, really badly. That dust dredger will help a lot once it's no longer winter, but for the foreseeable future, we're in a lot of trouble. I think we kind of have to pull everybody over to dust. Yeah, this only gives us a couple of turns, and then our units are going to start disbanding because we can't pay them. So we need to look into merging up a little bit. We can reduce some of our army costs by not having such a large group of armies. If we compress some of these units together. Just as some ruins hold greater treasures, some facilities hold more powerful mechanisms. Purpose-built for more than just extracting resources or farming, unique facilities can be very valuable centers of technology or production. Somewhere out there on the map is a unique facility that is ready to be exploited, and an old sea salt tired of traveling has given you a map. Okay, so there's a listening post in Yegor, and we'll get the Pedagogator, which is an item for our for our sea units, their commander slot. Okay. Those are going to kill us. Come on, find some dust. We need dust really badly. Okay, if I walk all the way over there, I will get some treasure. Okay, we have a cultist player in the game. That's really... I usually like it when there's a cultist player in the game because it means there's a lot of unconquered territory to use. But, unfortunately, he's on the wrong side of us. All the other players will be able to take advantage of the fact that he's not conquering all of his neighboring regions, and we're going to be left out in the cold a little bit. All right, let's get down to some murder here, some sea murder. This is our quest ruin. Hopefully we can get here before we have to start disbanding units. We're going to get out of the rain clouds immediately. Alright, these guys can meet up and merge this turn. This will help a little bit. Alright, we're down to just -6. And with any luck, this guy will actually find some dust in a ruin, keep us going for a little bit longer. Come on. 100 dust. No, that's nothing. Thumbs down is bad. Okay. We're in a bit of a spot. This winter needs to end. As soon as winter ends, we're going to be in so much better of a position. And we're about to get our library, so the Empire Mint will speed up. I was really focused on building units and not so focused on building infrastructure, and it's come back to haunt us, unfortunately. But I want to play with the new stuff, you know? I just can't help myself. Alright, so are we... that unit is not quite in range to reinforce us. I'm going to wait one more turn on this. We did get our mercenary market. That's cool. We have no use for it just yet because we have no money to spend on the mercenary market. Ooh, nice. Look at this. 7 pearls. Another thing that's pretty big that I have not really played up. We're gonna go foraging because we desperately need dust. Another thing that's big that I haven't played up really about the fact that we have early sea travel is that we can get all these sea pearls. So our guy has Influence Boost 2, and just Fast Learner as army skills, so it kind of seems like this dude wants to be a city hero. We could go Approval, but I think we're gonna go up this way. We're gonna try to make this guy a Great Admiral, so this will help move us a little faster when we're in our boat form. Oh, our city finished the thing it was doing. Do we actually want it to be building that? I think we want to move to dust filtration. I know right now it's only 1 tile that it's taking advantage, but we need every little bit we can get. Alright. Finally, it's time for some new sea combat. I'm pretty sure we would have gotten our asses totally kicked before, but this feels like a battle we should be able to win. We probably can't really afford to retrofit. Oh, somebody's doing legendary deeds. We probably can't afford to retrofit given our unfortunate economic status. Yeah, these things all cost industry. That's fine. We'll just murder. Let's just do it. Okay, sea battle. Alright, so they have boarding vessels that serve as garrison, plus we saw one more boarding vessel out there. Alright, so if we're careful about our positioning... Oh, I really like the water reinforcement banners. Looks super cool. If we're careful about our positioning, we can take advantage of this weather. So let's remember what all the weather tiles do. Basically, they're mostly bad. Fog is good, but we want to stay out of the rest of them for the most part, it seems like. Alright, they're faster than we are. They really don't have a lot... Boarding vessels actually don't have a lot of health. And their attack and damage are fine. The boarding party thing converts 30% of remaining life to bonus damage. Okay. So they have a little bit more damage than it looks like. We'll just let them come to us. This guy started his turn in -3. Wow. Holy crap. Yeah. So we're in the wind. Oh, our turtle thing is active now, though. And this guy has the acid spray on him. -10% defense. So yeah, actually our units are kind of awesome. We have more attack than they have defense, so we're getting the big damage values. Yeah, I totally probably could have taken one of these with a single bore. So I was maybe a little overly cautious. And now we have a thing. Now we have a sweet sea thing. First of all, 15 wine. Let us immediately pop a wine booster. Gain us plus 30 approval. If we can just get a little bit more approval going, we can move our empire into fervent. Which would be huge. But as you can see, just moving us up into happy has really fixed our economy for the most part. So we accomplished this. Validate a turn with at least one vor in the garrison. So you get in the garrison. And actually, moving that guy to the garrison means we're paying much less upkeep for him, so that's helped a lot, too. So now we have a fortress, but unfortunately none of its facilities are active, because the quest was not kind to us, and it picked one that was kind of crummy. Alright, I feel like maybe turn 25 is a little bit late in the game to finally be getting your factions stuff online, but we're doing what we can. So it looks like pink is Valters. Right, that's Valters, not Mazzari. I mean, they're the same, but... Oh, he actually has enough move. Man, we have so much water move. Okay, titanium is not dust, but we'll be alright. Do I want to leave us on... We can move some people off to industry. Let's have it be this guy, because actually this city has a lot of stuff it needs to build yet. Alright, we could make a reasonable play for a strategic building. A legendary building. We should take over this. We have to end the turn with the vor in the garrison for the quest, though. Alright, we're really tearing along this one. So we got 15 die for that. Morgar must be the strongest, most dangerous, most feared. That is freedom. So let's take a quick look real fast. We have to have 30 units of a luxury resource in hand at the end of the turn to get 130 wine. So do I want to just blow the die right away? It would give us +2 per turn. +2 influence per turn. That might be significant. Oh, and it'll give us +5 approval. Push us into fervent. Yes, absolutely the right play. Let's do that. Morgar has a city, many mines, food, shelter, but feels the gnawing of fear, the hatred that lies outside. The jailer's remnants are everywhere in the sea and on the land. The jailer's dupes and tools like those in the fortresses that remain on the oceans. So the jailers, I'm assuming, refers to the Endless. Learn to control an oceanic region. I would like to learn that. The great watery world should belong to you. Seek treasures and face the fears of the deeps by exploring ruins. So capture all the fortresses in Morkdra and control the ocean for 10 turns. Okay, I guess we're going to go this way. First of all, let's get this guy back out here. I know the video's running a little bit longer. I usually try to keep them a little under an hour, or in the neighborhood of an hour. But you know what? This is exciting stuff. We'll just we'll keep going for a little bit, because I want to at least see what it's like to control an ocean. We could probably bail out of here, but this guy's not our neighbor, so I'm going to steal all his pearls, and I don't care if he doesn't like it, because he's not our neighbor, and I'm not afraid of him. How far away are we from him? Yeah, he'd have to go through 2 other empires to get to us. Yeah, I'm stealing his stuff. So we're going to hit... He has a pearl deposit here with 7 pearls in it, and then another one up here with 10. 14 even. 4 pips means at least 10. I can't believe that there's 14 pearls there. That's crazy. It seems like they may have upped the spawn rates. I don't think I've ever seen a single winter deposit, have 14 pearls in it. Alright, so how many fortresses? There's 3 fortresses in Morkdra. In a lot of ways, they are similar to minor faction villages, obviously. So we can expect regions to have up to 3. It looks like this fortress only has 1 facility. So that's interesting. We failed... yes, we failed this quest. We would have gotten a shield called Breakwall from this quest, almost certainly. I don't really care. As a venerable and cautious race, rumor has it the Dorgeshi have stockpiled vast mountains of resources. If we assimilate the Dorgeshi faction before anybody else, we'll get 50 die and 40 dust. That is a thing that is totally worth doing, but we do not have access to them, and we really, I think, are not interested in building settlers at this moment. So let's get our citizens back on industry. Let's try to get some stuff done here. Let's try to get our cities looking like actual cities. We'll have access to the Empire Mint next turn. Parian is going to start producing actually, like, good amounts of money. This guy is, I guess, just heading up to the left. Let's do some more exploring. We still haven't met Green. We haven't formally met blue, it looks like, but I mean, we know enough about blue. We haven't met green in the way that matters, the way that means that I don't know anything about them. Oh, they expanded over the pearl deposit, so they got it. That's a shame. That's okay, we have 19 pearls. We're actually doing quite well on that. Alright, so it looks like we control the sea region by just controlling all of its fortresses. That seems to be the implication. Let's go do that. So we can go grab this pearl and still be in battle range. It looks like they might have made that effect more obvious when you hold right-click on a thing to see where the area of the battle is. Yes, that's true. It is theft. I am stealing from you. That is really happening. We can probably auto this battle. Ooh, we should be careful. Maybe these guys need a turn or two off to heal, because that was rough. I guess we could assign them to the garrison. So we have a titanium facility now. It's producing 1 science, 1 titanium, and 1 influence per turn. We have so many facilities that we have no idea what they do yet. God, I love it when a new thing comes out for a game that I like. I just love seeing all the new mechanics, and I'm such a game nerd. Alright, I really do want to conquer this sea region before we end the video. That seems like a good ending place to me. So let's see if we can... We heal pretty quickly while we're garrisoned. Let's spend a couple of turns garrisoned here. Heal up, and then get out there and get that other thing. Alright, you guys finish the Burrow Streets. And then we'll be able to change our naval unit spawning location. Which is good. The new spaces that we'll have are a little bit further south, which I like. Take a half a turn of movement off of the cost for getting each new unit into battle. I suppose we'll head up into the forest? I don't really know where we're going. We're looking for ruins. That's pretty much all we're doing at this point. Alright, we actually have enough dust that we can afford to start buying things out, maybe. Or actually, we got free mercenary market. We should be hiring governors. So we'll keep an eye out for new heroes. You have Army Defense Boost 2, Fast Learner, and pretty okay combat stats. 38 attack, 30 damage. These guys are ranged, right? Range 3? That's true. My troops are in your territory. We're stealing all your pearls. They're going to kick us out in a minute here. But not before I take some more pearls. Let's take these pearls and hit this ruin. Let's try to get as many ruins as we can that are in their territory before they close their borders on us. Because that's where this is headed. In the very, very near future. Oh, we still have a little bit of movement. And let's real quick check on our guys. How's our... Alright, one more turn of healing, I think. And then we head up to this one. So it looks like the boarding parties are pretty fierce. They can be pretty dangerous, and I think it is a good idea. It's a good thing that we built a second Vor before challenging them. I was a little worried that I was being a coward and had over-prepared. But it looks like it was totally justified. Oh hey, Valiant Lightning. Free crossbow. Our hero is a staff user, I think? Yeah. Yeah, we can't equip a crossbow. We can go for quarterstaffs, long scepters, and wands. So Pink actually has quite a few regions already. Large and impressive territory, but you know what he doesn't have? Is control of any sea regions. And actually, these guys will be able to hold their sea regions without having to reinforce them very much. Alright, turn 32. Not the, It's not the fastest I've ever entered Age 2. Could be better. I will say that we were helped tremendously by finding a couple of free technologies. So let's see here. Our new thing is a Leviathan. He has Intimidation Aura, Rapid Mutation, which allows us to retrofit anywhere. He is good at killing submersibles, and he is a submersible himself. I'm assuming that submersion is like water stealth? This giant creature of the deep is a dangerous foe whose powerful strikes can come at any moment. It can move stealthily, then rise up to attack its target from the depths. 42 attack, 48 damage. Seems like a pretty powerful offensive unit. We probably want to pick up cargo docks, like really early. Cargo docks is really powerful for us. Let's go for alchemical alloys first, though. Is this a new music track? I don't think I've heard this music before. I like it a lot. That's intense. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm fanboying out. Oh, look, they're building a legendary building. If I'm fanboying out a little bit, I'm really enjoying everything I'm seeing so far here. The sea feeling kind of just like empty and dead was the biggest problem I had with Endless Legend, and I'm really pleased that they're filling it in. God, our economy is real now. We're gonna be able to hire heroes before too much longer. What are we looking at? About 400 by the time we get to them, because the costs will keep rising. All right, let's take Morktra. Let us be the first to own a sea region. So both of our units are basically at full health. This guy's missing 20 HP. Alright, it's... Ooh, a fire ship. This is new. Okay, we're going to do manual battle so that we can see the fire ship. So what is your deal, fire ship? Endless Flames. Deals 25% damage to the target and opponents next to both the target and the attacker. Affected units lose 20% of their life each round for 3 rounds. Okay. Sets people on fire. Does what it says on the tin. Has 216 health, 53 attack. Actually, we might lose this. That's pretty bad. Yeah, let's work the boarding vessel first. Let's try to get this down to 1 enemy at a time. Oh, is it? It's very slow, it looks like? Alright, well, here's hoping that this works out. He moved in kind of a weird way and made it so that we didn't... He should have just moved right next to us and he would have been able to hit us both with the fire effect. Wow, that fire graphic is intense. Look at that. You wouldn't think that a thing that was floating on the water would burn like that. Okay, we're going to beat him, but I think we're going to lose this guy. Yep. Alright. Noble Vor died in our service, but first ocean controlled. Now that you've taken over this fortress, you have gained control of an entire ocean. Your empire now includes both its vast, dangerous expanses and its enviable treasures. Controlling all the fortresses on an ocean doubles the resources generated by facilities, the dust and science income from trade routes crossing that ocean, and the vision ranges of the fortresses. That's really cool. So check that out. We are, at this point, getting 4 titanium, 2 each from both of these things. So if you really go hard on sea control, you don't necessarily have to push really hard for... because we didn't even research Alchemist Furnace. I didn't even think about it, because we got so many free techs. Yeah, we didn't even pick up basic extractors, but we have 4 titanium coming in per turn. Now, if anybody attacked and successfully sacked one of our fortresses, we would lose 3 of that titanium. Because we'd lose access to the fortress, and then we'd lose control of the ocean, I think. Meaning that our remaining fortress would only be producing 1. But we're also getting a lot more influence. And as these keep opening up, these are going to be a great source of influence. We have 11 influence coming in per turn, and we only have 3 total districts. Well, I hope that this has been an exciting first look at this for you guys. I'm having a ton of fun. What a weirdly shaped region. More videos to come. There's going to be probably another one later today. There's going to be videos every day up until the release, and then, you know, more videos afterward, obviously. A lot more. So, come back next time. We're going to probably continue this game. We're going to see if we can maybe push toward a victory condition a little bit without having to take a lot of land territory, because I think this might be a good way to expand without having to come into too much conflict with our neighbors. And we'll see you then.